All right, Shabbat Shalom. My name is Lucas. I'm one of the youth teachers here at Roca Eterna. All right. Recently I took a hiatus because I had open heart surgery. So I'm back teaching, and I finally got a job. Yeah. I went back to teaching, and everyone says boo. I'm just kidding. What's up, Ben?
The mic pick up the click from the thing.
It'll pick up what?
The click.
The click? Oh, from my heart?
Yeah.
That would be funny. I want to know. Oh, so I have a mechanical valve in my heart now. I'm like iRobot. It's kind of cool.
He's a cyborg now.
I'm a cyborg.
Yeah.
So it clicks every time my heart beats. So the mic, that's what he's saying. The mic might pick it up.
So
but
is it like, or is it like, no?
I hope it's not like that. Yeah, it's just click, 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 click. But if my heart skips a beat or it stops, I'll know because I can hear it.
Do you feel like the valve shutting in your heart? Or
I do feel like a little
like
bit.
Pressure when it
A little bit, like a little boop, like a little vibration. But I feel everything now because I don't have any fluid around my heart because they had to get rid of that whenever they opened me up. So I feel every single heartbeat. I got used to it now though. All right, so our Torah portion is Vayera, which is Genesis 18:1 to 22:24. It is, and he appeared. Just want to double check. And he appeared. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the Torah blessing. Blessed Adonai, who is blessed. Blessed is Adonai, who is blessed now forever. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has chosen us from among the peoples and given us the Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives the Torah. So, these are my resources. I think we already know all of them. Zondervan, classic. Got to do it.
That's the Zondervan is all about you.
What do you mean?
You're all about the Zondervan.
I like the Zondervan. It's good. It's good foundational information. We have Rico with Wisdom and Torah. I will be pulling from the Siddur. And my Jewish learning, we're going to be looking at what they have to say about the minyan. Okay? And then I lost my picture that I have of my degree, my 4-year bachelor's degree in biology. And my dog ate it. I kid you not.
There's no way, man.
Yeah, seriously. I came home and my baby Riley ate my bachelor's degree.
How much is it to order a new one?
Not too expensive. I just haven't gone around to it.
You should get
But
like a really expensive plaques that are like $1,000 at the universities.
I feel like if you did that, you won't be able to have a job anymore.
no, it might bankrupt me. I'm a teacher. Okay, so I am going to be using my degree to talk about some science today. I like to add some science every now and then whenever I can. Okay, so for our table of contents today, we're going to be reviewing what Johnny went over last week. Okay, now I was not here. Crystal and I were not here last weekend. Okay, but he was kind enough to send me his PowerPoint, so I'll be able to pull some key points from those. Okay, and if you were not here last weekend, that is a-okay. We're going to review it as a class. Then we're going to talk about vitamin K, Siddur, and Matthew 9. Now, whenever it comes to Matthew 9, I'm not going to be expounding on it too much, but I do want to cover some of the stuff in there because a lot happens. Okay? So, now here's what we need. Oop, we need those boards. Go ahead and grab a whiteboard and a marker. We might have to share. We might have to share markers because we have a lot of folks in here. You forfeit your board? Okay. We will need the whiteboards. Go ahead and pass them around. Go ahead and grab an eraser as well. Now, what I want you to do on your whiteboard, yeah, Albert already knows all of the answers. All right, so on your whiteboard, what I want you to do is to go ahead and write for me what these two pictures have in common. On the left, we have the Brit Milah, which is basically the circumcision service for the baby. Okay, snip, snip. And then on the right, we have signing a contract for a mortgage. Okay, tell me what they have in common. What do you think?
I disagree.
Okay, okay.
Never mind.
What do they have in common? Were y'all able to get a whiteboard in the back? Because we have plenty more whiteboards. Oh, no markers? Can y'all pass down some markers and whiteboards? Thank you. We will have to share the erasers. Why'd you erase that?
What? That was it, right?
Why'd you erase that? Oh, that's funny.
I said what's the name of was like men.
Men? Yeah, well, okay.
At least women should get more.
Women can get mortgages. All right, I'll give you a couple more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold them up so I can see them. Come on, paper, contract. Good. Good. Perfect. All right, y'all got it. You nailed it. Good job. Go ahead and erase your boards. So what these have in common, a lot of y'all got, it's a contract of some sort. Okay, with the Brit Milah, there's actually two parties involved, kind of.
What happened to your arm?
I'll talk about that.
Okay. That's not where the vitamin K comes in.
Yes. So, all right, so the Brit Milah, the circumcision, okay, it's kind of an agreement between two people. It's the parent's responsibility to teach their child Torah, and it's also the child's responsibility to uphold the Torah, okay? Now, on the right, we have mortgage. What do you think the responsibility is for a mortgage? Yeah, to pay your mortgage. That's it, okay? But both are making promises, okay? Both are contracts. Good job. All right, so on your whiteboard, one more time, write out everything we know about circumcision. Keep it PG. Write down everything you know. Everything you know. Okay.
Can we use scientific terminology?
What's that testicles?
Yo, wait, bro, what are you writing, bro?
Yes, that is separation. That is separation. It's with an A, bro, not an E. Oh, wait.
Give you just a few more
I got
moments. Yeah.
the
You got the idea. Yeah.
I really don't.
Good.
Where'd you get?
Were you here last weekend by any chance? No.
I accidentally
Writing class is so bad.
I'm actually good at writing.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want to see them. Let's see what we got. Keep them up. Flesh proof. Good. After being born, painful. Practice.
What is that?
Every image. It's Dave. Covenant. Good.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Good job. Yeah, snip. All right. So, a lot of us got the idea. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal with the whiteboards. I don't want to see too much writing unless I ask you to, okay? These markers are expensive and they lose ink really fast, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and review circumcision. A lot of us got, raise your hand if you put 8th day. 8th day, that's a crucial piece of the part for today. Okay, raise your hand if you put covenant. Sign of a covenant. Raise your hand if you put snip. All right, so it is a sign of the covenant between God and Abraham. This is something that Johnny talked about last week as well, okay, with the covenant of the pieces. Y'all remember this picture? I think we've had it on here. It's a general question, sweetheart. I know. Not everyone knows it. Okay, we've been putting that picture up there for since day one, right? So covenant of the pieces. Now this whole part, okay, is a threshold covenant. Do y'all know what a threshold is by any chance? Can someone describe one to me? A threshold? Yes, Raquel?
A place where you cross into another territory.
Right, so like a door, okay, or a line that you make with blood, okay. Now, the thing is, back then, do we see any doors around here?
No.
I don't see one, okay. Now, this takes place of the door in a way, okay. So now, by creating this covenant, Abraham is in covenant with God now, and it's sealed in blood. Okay, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. There were two things involved with this covenant. Land. Y'all remember the other one? Land. And descendants. Good job. Land. Bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you.
Bless you. This one's tight.
So, land and descendants. Those were the two terms of the covenant. Land for Abraham's descendants. Okay? That's important. And it gives a new identity. I think you wrote that. Okay? It gives a new identity for the Israelites whenever they get circumcised. But did you know that a lot of ancient Near Eastern cultures also practice circumcision? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, it's a very common thing that was practiced all about the ancient Near East. Okay? And they all kind of mean similar things. It's a rite of passage. Okay? Do you know what that means, a rite of passage? I'm trying to think in our culture. It's like getting your license or getting into your first car accident. Huh?
I don't know about
Graduating, right? It's a right. It's something. It's a milestone
that. I should have
that
thought
happens.
Everyone gets into a car crash.
I did like the first week. Everyone does it. Is it just me?
Yes, yeah. I think it's just
Everyone will eventually. That's why our car insurance is like $2,000 a month here in Florida. Okay. All right. So. Now, this is important, okay? This means if you're circumcised, whenever you get circumcised, that means you become part of Israel, not the country. That's a whole other conversation. Okay, not the country, but the people. You're part of the people. Okay, does that make sense? There's a difference between Israel, the country right now, and Israel, the people. If you're circumcised, you're part of Israel, the people. And you have every right to do Passover, to do the feasts, okay, to do all of those things. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're good with understanding that circumcision is connected to land and descendants. We got that? All right. So the next piece of this puzzle is, it's a basic yes or no. Did I ever talk about salvation with circumcision? No. It's not. It's not part of salvation. Circumcision is not for salvation. What is it for? Land. And what's the other word, Ben? Descendants. It's connected to that covenant. It has nothing to do with salvation. Okay? Because whenever we read Acts 15, whenever Ben reads Acts 15, we're going to see... Okay.
You're turning into Johnny.
I heard he called on y'all. He does that. He does that.
I'm close.
All right, Ben, can you do me the honors and please read for us Acts 15?
But some men came down from
Judea.
Judea, and were
Mhm.
teaching the brothers, unless you are circumcised according to the custom of Moses, you cannot be saved.
There you go. Keep going.
And after Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension, thank you,
Big
and
word.
debate with them, Paul and Barnabas and some of the others were appointed to go up to Jerusalem to the apostles and the elders about this question. So being sent on their way by the church, they passed through both
Phoenicia.
Huh?
Phoenicia.
Phoenicia and
Samaria.
Thank you.
Samaria.
Describing in detail the conversation of the Gentiles. Huh?
Conversion.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay. I will confuse it too. It's okay.
Conversion of the Gentiles, and brought great joy to all the brothers.
Yes.
When they came to Jerusalem, they were welcomed by the church and the apostles and the elders. And they declared all that God had done with them. But some believers who belonged to the party of the Pharisees rose up and said, it is necessary to circumcise them and to order them to keep the law of Moses.
Now, I want us to notice a couple of things. Okay, right away in the first verse of Acts 15. What's the main issue? Circumcision for salvation. Is that true? No. And also, every time it mentions Pharisees, I want your ears to perk up. Okay, because the Pharisees, they're a whole mess. Okay, but actually they're more in line with our beliefs than you think. Okay, but they are a mess. Okay, so the Pharisees stood up and said it's necessary to circumcise the Gentiles and order them, like command them to keep the law of Moses, to keep the commandments. Okay, raise your hand if you would stay in this movement if that happened to you. You would? Congrats, Ben.
No.
Yeah, I would not. If someone came up to me, right, and I was just introduced to Torah, and they're like, hey, if you find this remotely interesting, snip, snip, first of all, snip, snip. And then second of all, you have to keep the law, like perfectly, right away. Is that realistic? It's not. Okay, and that creates a huge division. Go ahead.
Do we know which lines up there?
That would be, was it the Shammai? That was the house of Shammai. I don't have a slide for Shammai. Okay, so let's do this real quick. There's two houses, house of Hillel and house of Shammai. I don't have a slide, so just listen to my mouth, okay? House of Shammai, we don't like them too much, okay? They're more like the Joel Osteen of Jews, okay, at that time. Very prosperity gospel, YOLO. YOLO. Give us all your money, YOLO. Okay, that's basically the house of Shammai. They were very divisive in terms of like not letting the Gentiles in like at all. And then you have the house of Hillel, who's more laid back. Okay, they're more welcoming to Gentiles, and they do believe in resurrection. They do believe in angels and stuff. Yes, ma'am.
They all believe the resurrection.
Oh, both of them did. Okay, so just Shammai was
The
a
YOLO
little bit more
one
closed
was
off.
the Sadducees.
Oh, so I should have put a slide.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like basically Shammai was like really orthodox,
Mhm.
and Hillel was like normal orthodox.
Okay, gotcha. Ultra and
Like ultra.
okay. So disregard everything I said. Listen to Raquel. Okay, now it moves on. Okay, now this is where things get a little fuzzy. Okay, a lot of people will quote Acts 15 to justify not being circumcised. They're like, see, I don't have to get circumcised because of this whole. It's called the some council. I think it's the Jerusalem Council. Okay, let's keep reading. I'll go ahead and read. The apostles and the elders were gathered together to consider this matter, and after there had been much debate, Peter stood up and said to them, brothers, you know that in the early days God made a choice among you that by my mouth the Gentiles should hear the word of the gospel and believe. And God, who knows the heart, bore witness to them by giving them, the Gentiles, the Holy Spirit just as he did to us. And he made no distinction between us and them, having cleansed their hearts by faith. This is interesting. Now, therefore, why are you, the Pharisees, putting God to the test by placing a yoke on the neck of the disciples that neither our fathers nor we have been able to bear? But we believe that we will be saved through the grace of the Lord Yeshua, just as they will. Okay. The whole argument, okay, is trying to achieve salvation by, I put it right here, achieving salvation on your own. That's the whole root of the issue. Okay, so in Acts 15, a bunch of people were coming up to new believers, kind of like us, and they were like, hey, you have to be circumcised today, and you have to follow the Torah immediately, perfectly, for you to be accepted. Is that realistic? Actually, not even to be accepted, to be saved. That's not the message of Torah at all. Okay, the Torah cannot save you. That's not the point of Torah. It's to live a life according to how God wants you to live a life. Okay, if we could achieve salvation on our own, it wouldn't be a gift, would it? No. Okay, all of us could achieve salvation on our own if that's the case, but we can't. Okay, so these Pharisees were kind of tricking a bunch of people. That's not how that works. Okay, so that's the root of the issue in Acts 15. We're actually going to see Acts 15 again whenever we critique an article. Okay, so Acts 15 says that you have to be circumcised to be saved. Is that accurate? No, it is not. Okay? So, circumcision is in the realm of new creation, okay, for the purpose of today, but also covenants, okay? Now, this is first fruits of Zion. I have a little bit of beef with first fruits of Zion. Okay, you'll see why here in a second. Okay, what you'll find is oftentimes they get really close. And then they say something that completely counteracts what they just said. Just pay attention. Pay attention. Okay, now let's read. This is an article title. Okay, in Acts 15, we just talked about that one, didn't we? Yeah. What was the root of the issue in Acts 15? Anybody? How about in the back? Anybody? What was the root of the issue in Acts 15?
Circumcision gives salvation.
Yeah, and is that accurate? No. We cannot get saved by circumcision. Okay? So then there comes a whole issue of, well, I'm just not going to get circumcised because I can't be saved through it. That's not the point of it. Okay? So, in Acts 15, the apostles specifically rule against Gentile believers being required to be circumcised. That's not what happened. Okay? It didn't require, or they weren't against being circumcised. They were being against circumcised for salvation. That's the whole root of the issue. Okay? Now, they also quote 1 Corinthians 7:18, Was anyone at the time of his call already circumcised? By the way, Paul wrote this, okay? Was anyone at the time of his call already circumcised? Let him not seek to remove the marks of circumcision. By the way, this was a practice in the Roman Empire. Okay, Jews who receive salvation can undo their circumcision so that they can go into the gymnasiums and be naked with a bunch of people.
What?
Just saying. That's the context.
How does that work?
Oh, the gymnasiums. Yeah, they had bath. Yeah, I should probably talk about that. So they had bathhouses where it's basically where you would take baths and like a sauna type deal. Okay, you would take showers, baths, bathe yourself. Okay, but you would do it collectively. Okay, so if you had circumcision, again, it sets you apart. Everybody would know you're Jewish. Okay, so people would actually remove the marks of their circumcision so that they can partake in that event, in that activity. That's a whole different conversation, buddy. I don't know. Okay, was anyone at the time of his call uncircumcised? This is where they get the whole thing about not being circumcised. Was anyone at the time of his call uncircumcised? Let him not seek circumcision. Again, what's the issue going on right now in the church? Not now, but back then. Circumcision for what? Salvation. Okay, so is this about not being circumcised at all, or circumcision for salvation? All right, let's read it. I actually put 1 Corinthians right here. We already read this part, but if we just keep reading, the literal next sentence says, for neither circumcision counts for anything, nor uncircumcision, but keeping the commandments of God. We got to stop doing this thing where we quote Paul in one sentence and forget the other one. Okay, this happens a lot. Because I have a question. As believers, we are supposed to follow the commandments, right? Absolutely we are. But isn't circumcision a commandment? So if Paul is telling me to follow the commandments, I would get circumcised, right, eventually? Okay, but isn't keeping Passover also a commandment? But you can't keep Passover if you're uncircumcised. What do? You get circumcised. Okay, you get the whole idea. You have to be circumcised to follow the commandments. Okay, it's part of it. Okay, well, you can follow the commandments okay. Abraham walked with God 20-some years before he was ever commanded to be circumcised. Okay, 20 years. That's a long time. Okay, so if you're walking with God and you're learning Torah and you're not circumcised yet, that's okay. Take your time. Okay, do not get circumcised just because. Okay, this is a covenantal agreement. Remember the contract that you sign? It's a big deal. It's a life decision. Okay, so don't take it lightly. But don't think that you can achieve salvation by getting circumcised, okay? But it is a commandment. And if Paul tells us to follow the commandments, what should men do?
Follow the commandments.
And get circumcised.
Yeah.
Okay? Snip, snip. But here's the thing, though. I had one more point. Oh, did you know that there are verses in Galatians that Paul literally says, why is he being persecuted? Because he literally preaches circumcision. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So Paul, the same person that gets quoted all the time against circumcision, literally says, why is this happening? I always preach circumcision. It doesn't make sense. Okay? All right. Now, the reason I'm bringing up circumcision again is because Isaac, Abraham's child, gets circumcised in this portion on the 8th day. Okay, but here's my guiding question for us. Why the 8th day? I want you to keep that in mind. Why? We're going to answer it together. Okay? All right. So, I want you to meet Joe.
He's in pain.
Joe is in pain. Okay? So, Joe got a deep cut in his leg. Okay? Joe, where is he? Is he here? No, never mind. I thought he was in here. So Joe got a deep cut in his leg, and he lost a lot of blood, a lot more than what normal people would. Okay?
How deep is the cut?
Pretty deep. Okay?
Yikes.
But it turns out Joe was low in this vitamin called vitamin K when compared to normal levels. Okay? On your whiteboard, what I want you to do is think critically, what do you think vitamin K is responsible for? If Joe is low in it and he's bleeding too much, what does vitamin K do? What do you think? Think critically about it. I can't read that.
Me either. She can.
It's actually kind of cool, though. I don't know what it says, but it looks cool.
Are you kidding me? There's no way.
All right. Bones. It's true. It's true.
Banana? There we go.
Oh, that says banana.
I do my A's with like the weird little
Clots
trail
blood.
that's- I do my A's like
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me see it. Controls blood, healing, making blood rich. It clots blood, heals tissue, coagulation. Needs to stop the bleeding. Yes. So bones. So vitamin K is involved with blood clotting, which is why Joe keeps bleeding even though he has a cut. Okay. And by the way, you were also right. It is very involved with the bones. Okay, which we'll talk about. Okay. All right. So vitamin K. This is kind of what it looks like. Okay. I was working on a PhD in organic chemistry. This is beautiful. I think this is beautiful. But anyways, thank you. Who said that?
My God.
So vitamin K, it's in many fruits and vegetables. Okay, did you know that a lot of people don't eat fruits and vegetables?
How dare they?
There's none in bananas.
Banana?
No.
Is it a
You're thinking of potassium. Vitamin K is not potassium.
I thought it was.
All right, so as we now know, vitamin K is responsible for blood clotting.
Listen.
What happened?
I never looked.
So vitamin K, I'm going to catch you up real quick. Crash course. Vitamin K is needed to create blood clots to where like it forms a scab and it stops the bleeding. Right? So right now, you see this?
Wow.
That was an accident I had because I'm dumb and I don't know how to do archery. And so when I was pulling the bow back, the string kept hitting my arm. But I am on this medicine that blocks vitamin K.
Oh, no.
So what's going to happen?
That.
I'm just going to keep bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. So I feel a bump. That's not good.
That is not good.
So this right here, it just keeps bleeding and bleeding. Whereas a normal person might have like half of that. I got all of this.
Keep this back to a doctor, Lucas.
Yeah.
I do feel a bump. That's not good. It's probably a hematoma. That's a problem. All right, so what we need to know right now is vitamin K is responsible for blood clotting, and it's also responsible for bringing calcium into the bones, okay? There's only one trinity that I believe in. It is vitamin D, vitamin K, and calcium. Okay, that's the only one I agree with. Okay, if I must speak freely, okay? Now calcium, do you know calcium? You know calcium. You know calcium? So calcium we get for our bones. Now, did you know that if you just eat calcium, it does nothing? You just pee it out, literally. And if you have too much and you're dehydrated, you get these painful things back here called kidney stones. Okay, so make sure you're staying hydrated, all right? All right, so whenever you eat calcium, bear with me, you eat calcium, okay? If you have vitamin D, your body can use that calcium. Okay, so vitamin D pulls the calcium into your blood, but vitamin K is responsible for depositing it into your bones. Okay? A lot of people in the United States do not get enough vitamin K. So a lot of us have brittle bones because of that. They add vitamin D so that our body can absorb it, but it's up to us to get the vitamin K. Yeah, and a lot of supplements. By the way, if you ever try to get a vitamin D supplement, you'll see that it's also paired with vitamin K for that reason. Yeah, because otherwise, if you just have calcium and vitamin D, you'll just have a bunch of calcium in your blood and it doesn't go anywhere. Okay? That's good. All right, so this is a summary for this slide. No vitamin K equals no blood clots equals bleeding out equals bad. Okay? We got it? All right, let's move on. Now, there's two ways to get vitamin K. Okay, there's food, which I just talked about. Okay, we could get vitamin K from food. We also get it from our microbiome. Everybody rub their belly.
I'm good.
All right, your belly? No, you're good? So, it's our microbiome. Okay, now, So we have bacteria all over our bodies, whether you like it or not. You are full of germs, like filthy, really. Okay? But did you know, did you know there's actually a lot of bacteria inside of your intestines?
Yeah.
And it's responsible for digesting food, for synthesizing vitamins that we don't get on our own. It's kind of cool. So I have a whole slide for microbiome. We'll get there. So there's two ways to get it. You need to know these two. Food and this thing called a microbiome, which we'll talk about. Got enough food? Good. All right, but here's the thing. I want to talk about babies specifically, because who gets circumcised? Babies. Okay. Now, did you know vitamin K cannot be passed through the placenta? So whenever a woman is pregnant, there's this covering around the baby called a placenta. That's not the placenta. What's the placenta? Oh, I was thinking of what's it called? The shoot.
The placenta is what connects the baby's belly button, like when you.
Oh, yeah.
So it connects to the mom's uterus, and then it has a cord and it connects the baby's belly button. So the placenta is what has the mom. The
What was I
mom's
thinking of?
nutrients and blood goes from the placenta into the baby
Okay.
and back and forth.
Okay. So what was I thinking of? I was thinking of the.
Obviously,
What's the
yes.
sense
How
of
is
the
it
baby's
good?
I forgot what it's called.
All right, my degree was in biology, not reproductive system. Okay, so bear with me. I'm not too familiar with female anatomy. Okay, but what we need to know is for babies, it's hard for a baby to get vitamin K from the mother at all. No breast milk, no placenta. So if the mother eats a lot of vitamin K, it doesn't matter for the baby. It doesn't get it. Okay, so what we need to know is we get vitamin K from food, from our gut. You're not going to let me live that down.
He's not.
Great. Okay. And it does not, the baby cannot get it from the mother. Okay? All right. So the guiding question I want us to ask is how the heck do babies get vitamin K though? Because don't you think that a baby would need to clot blood if they're getting circumcised? That would be interesting. Okay. So what do you notice about these foods? These are all foods really high in vitamin K.
None that you can't eat.
I can't eat any of them. You're right. Okay, but how would you describe these?
Faraday.
Green. They're all green. A lot of green foods are high in vitamin K.
They all taste
Okay.
disgusting.
Yeah, I don't. Kiwis are good. Cucumbers are good.
Kale.
Y'all don't like Brussels sprouts?
What
All right.
Oh, broccoli? What are those? Yo,
Yes, Adam.
What are those?
Shh, quiet down, y'all. It's Adam. Hey. What happened, Adam? Say it again. I'm sorry, Adam. I cannot hear you.
Brussels sprouts.
What are Brussels sprouts?
Brussels sprouts are baby cabbages that taste disgusting.
And they're all.
Thank you.
They all taste like.
Those are Brussels sprouts.
They don't all. I'm not saying I have a weird thumb. I can eat anything.
Good. Try Brussels sprouts. I doubt you'll like them. All right. Now here's the thing. Shh. Here's the next one. We know. Hey y'all. Hey, we're getting a little distracted. Okay. All right. So these are all green. You're right. But can newborns eat those?
No.
No. So yeah, no solid food. So can babies get vitamin K from food then?
No.
No, because they can't eat food. They're on breast milk, and they cannot get vitamin K from breast milk. Okay, so they have to get it through their microbiome. Now, here's the moment I want to talk about it. We have bacteria all over our bodies. I already talked about that, especially in our stomachs. Okay,
Chilling.
huh?
There's a guy chilling.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there's an apple too. Yeah, don't worry about it. I just found it on Google. Okay. Now, our microbiome really helps digest food. Okay, have y'all ever passed gas?
Yeah.
Okay, good. If you have, that means your bacteria in your guts are actually breaking down the fiber in the food and creating methane gas as a byproduct. That's good. That means it's working. Okay. Now, it can be destroyed by antibiotics. Have y'all ever taken an antibiotic? Like you got an infection and then you had to take an antibiotic. Okay, what antibiotics do are kill bacteria. But what is our body made a lot of? Bacteria, okay? And especially where? In our belly. So whenever you take an antibiotic, okay, a lot of times what end up happening is you could either get constipated or you get diarrhea.
Yikes.
Because it completely destroys all of this food. Or all of this bacteria, okay? All right, now it does produce vitamins that we need like vitamin K. Okay, so vitamin K can be synthesized by our gut. Okay, and it's developed by exposure to stuff. So say I took an antibiotic, okay, and it completely wiped off all the bacteria in my bodies. How do I get more bacteria? What do? I touch stuff. I touch the dirt. Oh, amniotic sac. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you. Okay, placenta. Got it. Thank you. All right, so yeah, literally, there's more bacteria in dirt than you think. So if you grab dirt after you take some antibiotics or something, you can pretty much repopulate your microbiome pretty quickly. Actually, you could also eat yogurt. They have these things called probiotics, which is good bacteria. Okay, so a lot of times if you go to the doctor and they give you an antibiotic, they'll tell you to eat yogurt because it helps repopulate. Okay, all right. Now, babies. I want to talk about babies. Okay, yeah. So I have a question that I want us to think about, okay? I want you to look at this slide. Right here I have, at birth, there's no microbiome yet. They're completely sterile, okay? At 1 to 2 weeks, the microbiome is colonized by birth, breast milk, and environment. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to get gross for a second, okay? Now, have you all ever seen in a movie or anything like that, a woman giving birth, and they're saying something to the woman? What's the instruction? Breathe and push, and push, and push, and push, and push. I don't know about you, but if I was instructed to push a lot, something else is coming out. I'm just saying, okay? A lot of times, it's actually incredibly common that whenever women give birth and they're pushing, they pass something else too, okay? Now that is actually incredibly good for the baby, okay? Because at birth, do they have a microbiome? No. So doing that, natural birth that way, okay, they actually get a little bit of bacteria for their microbiome that way, which is actually good. There's actually a study done that showed that babies that were born like that, like passing, they actually developed less food allergies than C-sections where they didn't get exposed to that. So it's kind of interesting, okay? All right, and then at 3 months and above, the gut microbiome is already well established. Now your job on your whiteboards, I want you to look at this. Try to take a stab at when you think babies begin to make vitamin K. Yes?
Did the mother already pass?
Sure. Let's say they did that.
It's because like you've already passed through each day of creation. So each day is like a new creation. It's like you've completed.
That's pretty cool. So it's a new creation. I like that. That's a good idea. All right, I'm going to give you all a little bit. Now, I underlined and italicized begin. When do they start to make vitamin K? You have 3 options. Literally only 3 options.
All right, well, I got 2.
You got 2? All right, let me see them. 1 hour, 30 minutes, 3 months. First feeding, first digestion. Good, good. 1 to 2 weeks. All right, so did you know that it's actually after the first week? It's in this Goldilocks zone right here. 1 to 2 weeks, that's when their microbiome starts to be colonized and they can synthesize vitamin K. Okay. So again, I ask you, why the 8th day? Because the body can finally start making vitamin K and clot. Okay? I don't know if you know this, but if you have a cut on your body, you will bleed. A baby is no exception. Okay? So they have to be able to clot. And without vitamin K, they can't clot. So they have to wait at least 8 days, which is kind of really cool. I find that pretty interesting. So, to summarize, just this section. We still got more. Circumcision is not to achieve salvation. We understand that, right? Yeah. Circumcision doesn't save you. Circumcision is commanded to be done on the 8th day of life. Newborns start to make vitamin K for blood clots around 1 to 2 weeks after birth, which is the same time. Let's see, eraser. The same time that God instructs to do circumcision. I think that's really cool, don't you? I find that to be really fascinating. Okay, maybe I'm just a nerd, but all right. So let's go ahead and talk about the Vayera outline. Okay, I stole this, I think, from you. It's literally the same thing whenever you taught it. I just changed some names.
Credit due.
Yeah, I give credit where it's due. Okay, like my wife, she corrected me with the placenta. Thank you. Okay, I'm not too familiar with that stuff. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so the first aliyah, the first section of the Torah portion, we have the three angels appear to Abraham and foretell the birth of Isaac. Okay, Isaac's a really special baby. He's the baby in covenant with Abraham and God. Okay, he's like the son of the covenant in a way. All right, the second aliyah, the angels go to Sodom, and Hashem tells Abraham about his plans for destroying Sodom. Abraham negotiates unsuccessfully on behalf of Sodom. That's really interesting. Do you know what Sodom was doing?
There was a bunch of bad stuff.
A bunch of bad stuff. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. A bunch of bad stuff. That's also where we get the word sodomy. Don't look it up. Okay? So they were doing some really bad stuff over there. Okay, and Abraham tries to negotiate on their behalf. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
That's like negotiating for Las Vegas. No, that's crazy. All right, third aliyah. The story of the destruction of Sodom is told. Lot's generosity to the two visitors, the two angels, is rewarded, and he, his wife, and his only two of the children are saved from Sodom. Lot's wife looks back upon the destruction of Sodom and dies. Do you remember what she turns into?
Pillar of salt.
Pillar of salt. I think that's one of the most famous stories in the Bible. It's really cool. It's not cool. It's not cool. Anyways. And Lot and his two daughters escape into the mountains. Lot's daughters give birth to Ammon and Moab. If you do some quick math, you realize that Lot is the dad. Okay, Ammon and Moab. Yo, they were crazy. Crazy. Ammon and Moab, they sacrificed babies.
Oh, okay.
They worship Moloch. Like, they were a mess. Okay?
Okay.
Abraham encounters Abimelech. Yeah, Abimelech, after which Sarah gives birth to Isaac. Okay, do y'all remember how Abraham went into Egypt, okay, and told the Pharaoh, like, hey, this is my sister? Technically, he wasn't lying.
It's like,
Okay, but he does it again with Abimelech. Again. And Isaac does the same thing later in the future. Anyways. All right, Ishmael and Hagar. Ishmael was Abraham's first son with Hagar because they wanted to jump the gun on this whole baby thing. Are forced out of Abraham's home, and an angel reassures Hagar of Ishmael's destiny, which I won't talk about today. Abimelech and his general resolve their conflict with Abraham over water rights, and they sign a covenant of peace. I'm not going to talk about today. And then Abraham is commanded to sacrifice Isaac, one of the most famous stories in the Bible. Okay, this old man is told to go kill his son. Isn't that interesting? We're going to talk about that. Okay, all right. We're going to talk about these main two events, okay? The angels and Abraham. All right, so the three visitors. I remember when I was in the Christian church, okay? And I was told that, see, the Trinity. I told you there's only one Trinity I believe in. Calcium, vitamin D, and vitamin K. Okay? Now, the thing is, if you want to believe that the three, well, one's the Lord and then the two angels are the Trinity, then you have to like disagree with the text says because the text says that they're angels. The Holy Spirit's not an angel, is it?
No.
Yeshua is not an angel, is he? No. So you have to disagree with the text, which is a whole another problem. So the three visitors came to Abraham. They foretold Isaac's birth, and Sarah laughed. Sarah's like, yeah, right, I'm 90 years old. Shoot. Okay, and then, yeah, they didn't like that too much. But then they told Abraham about their plan to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. They were not doing good stuff, okay? And God gave them plenty of time to fix it, but did they fix it?
nope.
Nope, they don't, okay? So, lots of words. Where's Ben? I'm just kidding. No, can somebody else please read this for me? Go ahead, thank you.
So the men turned from there and went to Sodom, but Abraham still stood before the Lord. Then Abraham drew near and said, will you indeed sweep away the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there are 50 righteous within the city. Will you then sweep away the place and not spare it for the 50 righteous who are in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to put the righteous to death with the wicked, so that the righteous fare as the wicked. Far be that from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do what is just? And the Lord said, If I find at Sodom 50 righteous in the city, I will spare the whole place for their sake. Abraham answered, Behold, I have undertaken to speak to the Lord, I who am but dust and ashes. Suppose 5 of the 50 righteous are lacking. Will you destroy the whole city for lack of 5? And he said, I will not destroy it if I find 45 there. Again he spoke to him and said, Suppose 40 are found there. He answered, For the sake of 40, I will not do it. And then he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Suppose 30 are found there. He answered, I will not do it if I find 30 there. He said, Behold, I have undertaken to speak to the Lord. Suppose 20 are found there. He answered, For the sake of 20, I will not destroy it. And he said, Oh, let the Lord not be angry. Oh, let not the Lord be angry, sorry. And I will speak again, but this once. Suppose 10 are found there. He answered, For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it. And the Lord went his way when he had finished speaking to Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. My God.
So
He's
yeah.
better at negotiating than dealers in Shark Tank. That is
Literally.
insane.
So I every time I read this, I kind of chuckle because I'm like, he's like me whenever I was trying to negotiate how many cookies I could eat at the end of the day. You know, maybe 2. How about 3? How about 4? You know, but basically, what he's trying to do, what Abraham's trying to do, is to say to God, listen, like, don't get rid of the righteous with the wicked. Okay, don't let the wicked trying to mess up all the righteous people. Okay, take them out. Okay, and by the way, this whole thing has a lot of like Passover undertones in it too, because whenever the angels walk into Lot's house, what are they eating?
Bread.
Anybody? What kind of bread?
Matzah.
Matzah. That's really cool. And they're in Sodom, right? And Sodom gets destroyed just like Egypt gets destroyed. Lot and his family get saved just like Israelites get saved. Right? It's kind of cool, okay, if you look at it that way. But we don't have time today to go into that, okay? But it's pretty interesting, okay? So yeah, he's negotiating. Now this is where we kind of get the whole idea of the minyan, okay? What is a minyan? That's a great question. It's a group of 10 or more adult Jews, okay, or men, if there is sufficient sanctity to recite certain public prayers. So my Siddur. This is a Siddur, it's a prayer book. Okay, that's what we use whenever you do the Mincha. If you go at home, you do this to do the Shachari or the morning prayers if you want. Okay, now, there are certain prayers in here that you can only say if there is a minyan, meaning there's 10 or more adults. Okay, so in the congregation, we could say some like the Kedusha in the Amidah. We can say a couple of them that we cannot say on our own if we're praying in private. Okay. Now, this concept of the minyan can stem from the event that we just read about. 10 righteous people. Just find 10 righteous people, right? And Sodom didn't have any. So up here, there's 3 things, there's 3 thoughts into why we have the minyan, the collection of 10 men. The top one says there are a few explanations derived from the Torah that may account for why the number 10 was specifically chosen. The first is the story of Noah, where there were 8 people, Noah, his 3 sons and wives, plus the presence of God, and that was not enough to save the world from destruction, whereas 10 might have. Okay, so that's one school of thought. The next one is what we just read. Similarly, in the story of Abraham and the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, because Abraham couldn't even find 10 righteous people, God destroyed the cities. I don't agree with this too much because it says Abraham couldn't find them, but it was the angels. Okay, but anyways, all right, but 10 righteous people weren't even in Sodom. Okay, but what if there were 10 righteous people? What would have happened?
Nothing happened.
Yeah, they would have been saved, right? The whole city. Okay. Later, when the Jews were dwelling in the desert after the exodus from Egypt, 10 men were sent to scope out the land of Israel and came back with a bad report. The Talmud comments on the verse from the story of the spies that the Hebrew word Ada denotes an assembly of 10 men. I personally favor this one.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if they were 10 righteous men, the whole city would have been saved. Same way, whenever we pray on behalf of all Israel. Whenever we do it. Okay? So if we have 10 righteous people, what does that say about the world? Yeah, exactly. It's the same concept, okay? So, that's the minyan. But there's also something really important in the Siddur that's also in this portion. Okay? I want to talk about it. It's the Akedah. Okay? Or the Akedah. How would you say it? Like, Akedah? I say Akedah because I'm white. All right, so the Akedah, Abraham goes to sacrifice Isaac, okay? God commands Abraham, hey, you love me, right? He says, yes. Okay, good, go kill your son. Okay, now, like, that's oversimplifying the whole thing. We're going to talk about how complicated this gets. This is read in the morning prayers in the Shacharit, and it highlights Abraham's faith, okay? My question is, how? For the longest time, I'm telling y'all, the longest time. I remember hearing like, the Akedah, the Akedah, really highlights God or Abraham's faith in God, because Abraham walks in faith to go kill his son. I had trouble with that. I don't know about you. I had trouble digesting that because I'm like, it's unsettling. I don't know how to describe it, okay? And I remember reading and talking about how, well, Abraham had faith that God would resurrect Isaac, right? And I remember thinking, well, it's just a commentary, right? That's just a school of thought. It's in the Torah. It's literally, it's so subtle. It's crazy, okay? Volunteer. Any volunteers? Who wants to read it? Oh, thank you, Raquel.
After these things, God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And he said, here I am. And he said, take your son, your only son Isaac, who you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains which I shall tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took two of his young men with him, and his son Isaac. And he cut the wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went to the place of which God had told him. On the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place from afar. Then Abraham said to his young men, stay here with the donkey, and I and the boy will go over there and worship and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son, and he took in his hand the fire and the knife. So they went both of them together. And Isaac said to his father Abraham, my father. And he said, here I am, my son. And he said, behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Abraham said, God will provide for himself a lamb and a burnt offering, my son. So they went both of them together.
Okay, just want to make sure there's nothing next. I don't know if you caught it. It is so subtle. You found it?
I think, is it when he says to the young men that both he and his son will come back?
Yes.
Okay.
It's taken me years to see that. Years. And I like the translation in the Siddur. I'm going to read it to you, okay? Because it really highlights, this is why Abraham had faith. And it's to me, it's not that Abraham just obeyed and went to go kill his son. It's that Abraham believed in his heart that Isaac would be resurrected. Let me read it to you. Abraham rose, saddled his donkey, and took his two lads with him and Isaac his son, and he cut wood for the burnt offering, and he set out for the place which God told him. On the third day, Abraham looked up and saw the place from afar. Abraham said to his lad, stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go on ahead. We will worship, and we will return to you. I don't know about you, y'all, but listen. If Abraham was going to go kill his son, who would return?
Himself.
Just Abraham. But what does he say?
We.
Y'all, I got chills whenever I realized that. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's so subtle. It is so subtle. But that's the faith. Okay? Abraham had faith that God would resurrect his son Isaac, because Isaac is part of the covenant that God made with Abraham. The same exact faith that we should have each and every day, that God would resurrect us. That's a huge part of it. It's the same thing, okay? All right, so the summary for this part. The minyan is thought to have came from Abraham negotiating with God, the 10 men, the collection of 10 men. The Akedah is when Abraham goes to sacrifice Isaac, but the language present suggests that Abraham knew already that God would resurrect Isaac. That's the faith. That's the one. That is how Abraham had faith. Now, the next section is about Matthew 9. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time expounding on it, because I spent a lot of time on vitamin K and the Akedah and all that stuff. Okay, so we will be talking about Matthew 9, but don't expect like a super long teaching on it, okay? So, in this one, Yeshua heals the paralytic. Do you know what paralyzed, like to be paralyzed is?
To be like, or to avoid?
No, like what it means.
Oh, yeah. Not
Yeah,
to
you
be able to
can't move, right? You can't move. All right, so he heals a paralytic. People bring a paralytic to Yeshua, and Yeshua forgives his sins, but scribes accuse him of blasphemy. That is something I really want to look into. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know too much about that. Okay, and I would really love to do research on it. Okay, to show his authority, Yeshua heals the man, and the crowd glorifies God. That is actually really important. Okay. Do you remember whenever you read the New Testament, do you happen to remember what Yeshua said to somebody who glorified Yeshua?
Glorify God, not me.
Exactly. Every single time, Yeshua points the credit to who? To God, the Father, not to himself. If he took credit for it, that would actually be treason. Okay? That would not be good. So, he also calls Matthew in Matthew 9. Okay? It's kind of interesting because Matthew writes in third person. He's actually really good at writing in third person. Okay? So, Yeshua calls the tax collector Matthew. He says, follow me. And he does. At a meal with tax collectors and sinners, Pharisees question the company that Yeshua keeps. Because remember, the Pharisees didn't like intermingling too much. They didn't like that. All right, they're like, righteous people over here, sinners over here, Gentiles way over there. You know, they try to separate everybody, and nobody's really welcome. Okay, so whenever they saw Yeshua keep company with tax collectors and sinners, they had beef with that. Okay, but Yeshua replied, the sick need a physician. He desires mercy, not sacrifice. That's something that I talked about in Bereshit, right? Did I talk about that? With Isaiah? Whenever, oh yeah, I did. So I compared it to the first and second temple periods, how they put so much emphasis on sacrifices, but they did not have mercy. They did not have it in their heart. Okay? So he told the Pharisees, hey, God wants mercy. He doesn't want sacrifice. Because the Pharisees had rules for everything. You get out of bed, you got to wash your hands. Okay, you have to do it ritually. Okay, and they put it up there with commandments. There's no commandment for a lay person for us to wash our hands. Only the priests in the temple. But the Pharisees took a lot of the commandments for the holy things and put it on us, the normal person, and put it up on the same level as commandments. Okay, because they were all about being ritually clean, not actually clean. Okay, so that's why Yeshua says he desires mercy, not sacrifice. Now, fringes, this one gets me good every time. So, a synagogue ruler pleads for his recently deceased daughter to be resurrected, but on their way, a 12-year-old, a woman with a 12-year hemorrhage, that means a lot of bleeding, okay? A lot of bleeding touches Yeshua's tzitzit, his tzitzit, his fringes, okay? I don't like that picture too much, but anyways, and is healed. That's crazy. No, that was Google. That's a picture from Google. That's really interesting, okay? Because I think the only show I've seen to get that one right is, what's the one we watch? The Chosen, where she actually touches the tzitzit, okay? Because that's what she touches, the fringe of his garment. That's really fascinating to me. But at the house, Yeshua dismisses the mourners and resurrects the girl. So you have resurrection and a miracle of hemorrhaging in the same chapter.
How old was the girl?
Old, right? She was, I don't know how old.
She was 12 years old.
She was 12?
And she was hemorrhaging for 12 years. And what 12 do we see in the Bible?
Oh.
The tribes.
12 tribes.
And it's all foreshadowing and showing how through Yeshua, the 12 tribes are going to be brought together.
That's true.
And they're going to be healed.
Oh yeah, so whenever you see a number, that's a good point, sweetheart. Whenever you see a number, it's for a reason. So that's a good point. So 12 years, I'm going to relay what she said. Okay, there's 12 years that she had the hemorrhaging. How many tribes of Israel were there? 12.
How many disciples were there?
12, okay. And then what does she touch? The tzitzit. What does the tzitzit represent? Following the commandments, okay. And so she touches the thing that represents following the commandments, and she's healed. That's really cool. Good connection.
It says, like, if you bring all your commandments to collect them. You know what I'm saying? From the four
Yeah.
corners of the garment.
Oh wow, I like that. I wish I had that. That's good. All right, so the blind men. So 2 blind men follow, crying, Son of David, have mercy on us. How many blind men?
2.
2. Okay, this is interesting. We have 2 houses. We have the house of Judah and the house of Israel. And they were both kind of blind if you think about it, because if you think about it, were they worshiping God correctly? No. So we also see the restoration of the 2 houses, which also points to Jeremiah 31 for the new covenant through Yeshua. It's kind of cool, the renewed covenant. Yeshua asks about their faith, and he opens their eyes. He warns them to tell no one, but they are chismosos. Okay? But they tell everybody. Okay? And the news spreads widely. And they say, the Pharisees, that nothing in Israel has happened like this before. Exorcism. Okay? A demon-oppressed man who is mute. Do you know what mute is?
You can't speak. Vocal cords are...
Yep, vocal cords. No talking. Yeshua casts out the demon and the man speaks, but the Pharisees always got something to say. They claim he casts out demons by the prince of demons. Is it you cast out demon because you're a demon?
Make no sense.
What? No, that makes no sense. Okay?
Want the person inside them?
So what's really interesting is later in the future there's also another demon possession, and Yeshua puts the demon, and the demon was like, hey, put me in the pigs. Okay? And so, yeah, that's really interesting that he chose pigs. Okay, so the demon goes into the pigs, and then the pigs kill themselves.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But the demon talks about how the demon already knows who Yeshua is. Okay, and it's not the prince of demons. Okay. All right, harvest. This closes out a lot. Yes, sir.
I want to say something about the pigs eating. Couldn't that be a reason why like the mothers eat the pig meat sometimes? Because I've heard of it. Like, the mothers eat the pig.
Pigs eat anything, and I mean anything. Literally, pigs will eat anything. They will eat their own kids. They will eat anything.
Couldn't that be a reason why?
Why are there a bunch of people when you bring up the word harvest?
Well, I was interrupted. Yeah, so that's a good question though. Yeah, pigs do eat their own kids. Pigs eat anything.
They will eat this.
They're like garbage disposals. All right. Now, Matthew 9 closes with something that's really interesting. I want your attention for this, okay? Now, throughout the Bible, okay, it's really hard for us in the Western world today, unless you're a farmer, but it's hard for us to relate to the language of agriculture. It's really difficult. You have to put in some effort to learn it, okay? And Johnny has talked many times about the agricultural calendar, the different types of harvests, the times of the year, stuff that I'm going to be honest, I need to do more research in for me to be confident enough to relay it to you. Okay, but I do know for a fact there's a lot of agricultural language, and to harvest means to bring in whatever you have. Okay, if I have a vineyard with grapes, harvesting the grapes would be going out and getting the grapes so I can make wine or whatever, okay? But Yeshua goes through the cities and villages teaching, proclaiming the kingdom, and healing every disease. He has compassion on the crowds. They are harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. That's huge. Because if you think about it, okay, at that time, they had a high priesthood that was completely corrupt. They had a lot of problems. They had the Sadducees, the Pharisees, the Samaritans, the corrupt priesthood, no leadership. Okay, and then you have a bunch of different sects that were all scattered. Okay, they had no leadership. They had no one to lead them. And then one section of Judaism hated the other. And then the other one hated the other. You have no cohesion at all. And so I really understand whenever Yeshua says that they're harassed and helpless. All these people that are lined up to see him. Okay, they're probably not smiling like that.
I don't like the way they're looking at
It's borderline creepy. Okay, but they're harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. That's why Yeshua came, to be a shepherd. Okay, to be like David. All right, so it's really interesting.
You notice the three random bald men at the very front? They're like together.
Andrew Tate.
Okay,
This is the one on the left.
I hope you'll have a great week. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your attention, okay?